Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another crypto video. And today I am giving you guys a guide on how every single XRP holder can get themselves some nice and free juicy coins. Yes guys, this is going to be a guide on how to claim airdrops as an XRP holder. And the most fun fact of it all is it is extremely easy. And even now I was surprised of the ease of the entire situation. And there's a very good chance that by watching this video once, you'll know all the steps on how to claim yourself some nice juicy airdrops, which once more are possible for all people holding XRP. Very nice, very cool. So let's dive right into a couple of the airdrops which are coming out by first explaining how I got to this and what the long story short is. So I've been asking on Twitter, what are some of the most important airdrops? And airdrops basically are things which you can get for free most of the time. You have a wallet, and in some way, shape, or form, if you are connected to their platform, they give you some coins for free. And I basically noticed, hey, Solo is an airdrop that's out there for XRP holders, and people are excited about it because the coin also went pretty damn juicy in value, so people are hyped up for this airdrop. When I noticed that, I asked you guys what the best way to go about it was, and I noticed there was quite a lot of people who gave me some tutorials here and some informational pieces. At first I thought, oh no, I have to go through all this, it looks so difficult. But no guys, it is extremely simple, like some people were mentioning here. It is extremely simple, and we can go through it within a couple of minutes. So yes, one of the most important ones is Solo, and there's a little guide here over on Medium of what they do, what they are, and also at the bottom here, the airdrop. So I read through this and it was like, okay, so a lot of little numbers here. What do you do? There's a Sologenic gateway. What do you do? Well, we actually go back to a little guide here that's been posted by Status. And Status put over on his Twitter, let's quickly give him a shout out real quick. Status put over on his Twitter, if you're an XRP holder, congratulations. Many airdrops coming your way, some already distributed. Flare, Songbird, XFi, Solo, ELS plus Athena, and many more. And you guys probably know by now that Flare was the airdrop that basically went on from December of 2020, which we still, by the way, have not gotten. And now there's a couple of other ones that are going pretty damn trendy that you can still kind of claim. And here's actually a little bit more of an official list by Melly Rillas of all the different airdrops that are coming out throughout November here for XRP holders, and all you have to do is set it up properly. So how does that work? Well, we go to the guide that Status put up, and we just literally walk through it. It is as simple as that. There's two different methods. One is you get yourself an account on the XRP app, which I've only done from today. I've never used this before. I did know about it. I did know about it from the start. And BITRUE now, the founder of it, who's, by the way, funded by Ripple. This is official stuff. It's not sketchy at all. So it's literally trusted as far as possible. So there's no, at least this is one of the less risky things that is out there. So I really trust it with my full knowledge. However, of course, using any of these platforms is always less safe than keeping everything to yourself. You guys get my drift, but it is very much trusted. He's also very well known in the XP community. Very, very good. Once more, XRP Labs is part of Ripple's program. So they are connected to Ripple. You know what's scary? Okay, and super cool and awesome, at the same time super scary, going from 50,000 unique users per day to about 100,000. As again, there's like 30,000 new people coming in over the weekend. Right now, this app is going really trendy as people notice there's potential in these airdrops, which are given out for free. And even I downloaded it just now, so yeah. So there's two ways, the XRP app, like we just said, and the XRP Toolkit. A third way would be to ask exchanges. I'll get into that in just a second. So via the XRP app, it actually goes to this really simple little guide for how to basically set a trust line, right? We'll get through that in just a second. Don't worry about it. Through the XRP Toolkit, you actually have to go through a little bit of a different means to set your trust line because you have to basically connect your wallet. This is basically for Ledger Nano S's or Ledger Nanos, but you can check out the website for what is possible. You can see here, you can actually do the XRP app via that too if you'd want, the Decent wallet, the Kobo Vault, but I personally use Ledger. Then again, I believe there's also different ways in which you could do it if you really know your stuff. But the easiest is the Ledger, or once more to have your XRP in the specific XRP wallet, which is the XRP app. And let's move on. So if you do have your XRP in the XRP app, here's the steps. You go to the XRP.community website and select sign in with XRP at the top of the page. So once more, just go there, sign in after you've made yourself an account and you got XRP in there, obviously, because this is if you have your XRP on this app. This is if you have your XRP in a ledger. And then the third option is if you have your XRP on an exchange. The only option if you have it on an exchange is to basically ask the exchange to deliver the drops to you. This is if you want to take action yourself. So you go to that little place, sign in with the XUM top of the page. Very simple right now. You didn't do anything just quite yet. You go onto your app on your phone, scan the QR code with your XUM app to log in. So it's just once more to get it on your computer to log in. Review the transaction in XUM app and slide to accept to sign in transactions. Just basically to sign in once more. Now, once you're signed into the XUM app, go back to the xum.community webpage and click on the XRPL tokens in the menu bar, or go to xum.community/tokens if you don't want to press this little button right there, but it's very simple. Input the currency code in the search bar under the list of all tokens to find the specific token, for example, LOX. Now, I've been told, and I actually see this here over on a couple of different places, that you don't actually need a crazy code. You can just type in solo, and that is all that you need to do. Because Solo is so big and recognized by XUM, they basically taken the steps for you to look for the difficult codes. However, you can of course also find everything on the Sologenic medium if you are a little bit confused or you are not trusting some of these parts. But again, it just says here, you put in the currency code into the search bar. Every single piece of information you can also find in their medium, so not to worry. Once you put that in, click on the Set Trust Line link. So I cannot zoom in further. However, you can see the issuer account, account name, total token currency code, the total issuance value of this token, number of trust lines set, or number of trust lines, and the current DEX offers. It here says links and then Set Trust Line. You press that little button. This will not necessarily cost 2 XRP, but you need 2 XRP in your account to set this up, and the 2 XRP can then not be spent anymore until you remove the trust line if you really wanted to. However, I would personally say, hey, if you have a wallet and there's 100 XRP inside that, you put this in to the trust line, it will take basically 2 XRP out of the reserve or put it extra into the reserve. And so you all of a sudden can only spend, let's say, 2 XRP less than 100, if you guys get my drift. If you have 100 XRP for free that you could have spent before, now you can only spend 98. But it's not leaving your wallet, so to speak. It's still there, but you can just not spend it anymore to basically have this trust line in place. Now then you click the confirm button on the bottom left. You can see here the little blue button. And scan the QR code to show the XUM app sign-in request or sign request in your XUM app. So how this works basically is just another measure of verification. So it's basically you basically scan it once more to make sure that it is signed. That's just the way that they've gone and handled things. Then in the app itself, you slide the little button. There's a little, again, it's just a slider. You slide it to the right to accept it. And then your newly added token will show on the other tokens list in your XUM app. And that will basically be, you basically accepted the connection with this new token for Sologenic, again, Solo, you've accepted this. You didn't have to input all the data that we see right here because it's already basically acknowledged by the XUM app. They know it already. And it will basically grant you your tokens like that. There's really no other steps about it. It will just come in because you've set the trust line, which basically in the easiest words means you have set up some sort of trust system with them where they now know, okay, you want it, right? That's the easiest way in which you could just put it. It's not all the way through like that, but that's the easiest way in which you could see it. However, I have done a couple of videos before on how trust lines work. They used to be more expensive than they are now. That changed a little while ago. It's just as simple as that. Just see it as simple as it is. Don't think too much about it. If you want to know more, just type in XRPL trust line, and you can read everything that you'd want. But this is just the steps for how to do it, not about the real in-depths of what exactly you are doing, as that's a different topic. I'm just making it as simple and as less confusing as possible. So the second measure is if you had your XRP on a ledger, which I personally have, and that's what most people I think do. You go to the XRPToolkit.com, this website right here. You connect your ledger, you connect whatever device that you want to go for. You have to trust it, obviously. You connect it and you plug it in. You guys understand. And then once it's connected, click on the account section. This is if you connect it to a ledger. And then choose assets. Now click on the custom edit link and then input these values in the issuer currency and limit field. So you're seeing in the custom edit part, issuer currency and limit, right? So what it says right here is for ELS. Now, that is not the airdrop which we want, and that is one why I said that this guide will work for most, because it's all the same principle, but you need to look up the proper values per these airdrops. So here, we have the Sologenic Gateway, the issuer, which is highlighted already, so you can just copy that. The currency code if you want or need it, and the limit. So all you have to do is look back and fill in the little points right here. As an issuer address, let's go back here. Issuer address is right here. The RSO whatever, right? That's the top highlight. We put that in. The currency code here, it's SOLO, right? Because here it says ELS for the ELS airdrop, Solo for the Solo one. Just makes logical sense to me. However, there, let's quickly see here. It says enter the currency code. Sometimes you need to enter the hex code instead, which basically would mean you enter this specific hex code. I do not know if that actually makes a difference or not. And then a limit, again, we have seen the limit right there. It says here 400 million as an example. So once you've set this up, once you've done that, you click the next button, connect with your Ledger Nano and just basically sign by, you know how that works with the Ledger, right? You confirm it like we see on the XRP app, you confirm, press both buttons at the same time if you have a Ledger Nano S. You will find your newly added non-XRP asset on the asset page. And once more, even though there might not actually be anything that's changed just quite yet, you will get your tokens now because you basically verified it and confirmed it. It is as simple as that as I've now seen. It's not hard, actually. So some people said, can I lose all my money? Well, the only thing I can actually tell you guys up front here and really easily is as long as you follow whatever we've done now and you don't set any wrong trust lines up or don't do anything crazy, there's almost nothing I can think of that can go wrong unless you make a mistake and do something crazy. If you set up an improper trust line, if you make mistakes in that, yeah, you might lose, for example, the money that you put towards the trust line, which is a couple of XRPs. I'm not really sure of any other way you can really mess up that bad. Don't quote me on that, but I'm just not really sure how you can mess up in that to that degree, or what you can really do wrong, if you guys get my drift. However, I'm also not an expert on this matter. I've just literally learned the couple of steps here on how to get these airdrops, as I've never received airdrops from XRP before like that, except for the Flare one, which is already a year ago. So I'm also new to this, and I'll definitely be providing more guides as we get more cool drops. Now, the last and I guess most important one as well is what if you have your XRP on an exchange? And that's actually what Sologenic here also says at the bottom. What if you have it on an XRP, on an exchange, like for example Coinbase? Now, XRP holders who hold their assets on exchanges will need to periodically check and see if their exchanges is actually supporting the airdrop. We will initially reach out to them and ask them to distribute. However, the XRP community may have to ask the exchanges to consider participating in the airdrop because it's not done, per se. There's two other things I have to say though, if you're wondering when this is going to be. The snapshot, which basically will measure how much XRP you have, and equivalent, you'll get per XRP 0.2 solo, which as of this point, I guess, is about 50 cents. So that's pretty damn juicy per XRP that you have. But if you have solo, you will get it on a 5-to-1 basis. So right now, for every solo that you have, you'll get about $12.50, which is a pretty good ROI, which is most likely with the price pump right now because people notice this. However, there's also the concept of you getting yourself some solo because of CoinMarketCap, because you can apparently just sign in here, participate. There's 18 days left, and 1,000 people will win $120, which is very nice. There's a lot of people entering, of course, but still, you might have a 1 in 1,000 chance to win, for example, but it doesn't cost you anything as far as I know. Now, the last question you might have is when will you get the money if you've gotten yourself inside the snapshot, which basically just means you have to hold XP at that point. You will get the solo on the January 20th of 2022, 8 p.m. UTC, as it says right there, and that's basically all you have to do through it. Once more, for XUM users, you just walk through the info. You have to set up a trust line, which is very simple through the app. Via Ledger, you have to set up your trust line. Easiest way, most likely, is through the XRP Toolkit. If you have it on an exchange like a Coinbase or something like that, you have to ask the exchange to actually give you the tokens because they control your private keys. So there's not really too much you can do about it except for taking it off to a certain app. So how much do I trust these different methods? How much do I trust the system? I do trust XUM with a lot. Let's put it like that. I do trust it more than a normal exchange because they're connected to Ripple in the sense that I do not think they'll leave. And also, in my head, I'm always thinking, this is a Dutch guy. I'll look through left, right, I'll find this guy. No, it's just a little bit of a joke. Now, I'm always thinking like, nah, it looks pretty good. There's his kids up there with his little head. It's going to be, you know what I mean, guys? It just feels trusted. It feels to me. But you can, of course, never trust it 100%. And the XRP Toolkit manner, there's really almost no way which I can think of that people can really mess up. As long as you go through these steps, don't do anything too strange, it's pretty damn safe if you ask me. Make no guarantees. I cannot tell you anything in the sense that 100%, but I'm not really sure exactly how people can mess up. Let me put it like that. I've been thinking about it for a good little while, and there are a couple of warnings for trust lines, but it's mostly because you can mess up your trust line and lose the money that you put in. I think there's a couple of articles I had open about that, but I kind of lost it now. I'm not sure exactly where it is anymore. It said it somewhere, but I kind of lost it somewhere. Now, okay, last part of it is once more, just check out every single time. I'll just keep retweeting it and keep checking it out when new projects come out. How to find all the information for them, I still have not figured out. I guess maybe the easiest way is to go onto their Twitter and check out whatever information they put up. However, a couple of you guys have warned me, and there's, by the way, more and more, that you should not mess around with the wrong trust line. So if there's any information which I found out right now about basically the risks of trust lines if you do them wrong or set the wrong one, because again, guys, I'm also a little bit new to XP. I can't even tell you guys exactly where to find all the information about it. But I'll put it in the comment section. So make sure you check out the pinned comment, because I'm going to maybe put a little adjustment in there if I do think of something else about these XRP trust lines. But you can find here on the xpl.org. If you type in trust line, I've read all of this before, but still I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit off today. You can type in trust line, you'll see a little bit of info on it. I think maybe trust space line might be doing a better job. Here, trust lines and issuing, how exactly that works. You can read everything that you'd want to about how these things go about. It's all in there. You know, you can literally find every piece. Read it quickly. Issued currencies in the XP Ledger often represent value held by gateways in the world outside of the XP Ledger. The address that issues those funds in the XP Ledger is expected to pay the balance back. Outside of the XP Ledger, when users redeem their XP Ledger balances by returning them to the issuer, since the computer program cannot force someone to keep a promise in the outside world, trust lines represent a way of configuring how much you trust an issuer to hold on your behalf. Since a large, reputable financial institution is more likely to be able to pay you back than, let's say, a broke roommate, you can set different limits on each trust line to indicate the maximum amount you are willing to let the user owe you in the XRP Ledger. If the issuer defaults or goes out of business, you can lose up to that much money because the balances you hold in the XP Ledger can no longer be exchanged for equivalent balances elsewhere. You can still keep or trade the issued currency in the XP Ledger, but there is probably no longer any reason to consider that issued currency to be worth anything. There are two cases where you can hold a balance on a trust line that is greater than your limit: when you acquire more of that currency through trading, or when you decrease the limit on your trust line. Since a trust line occupies space in the ledger, a trust line increases the XRP your account must hold in reserve, which is doing that by 2. This applies to the account extending trust, not to the account receiving it. Each trust line is specific to a given currency code. 2 accounts can have any number of trust lines between them for different currency codes, but only one trust line in either direction for any given currency code. So I think that is it. So once more, as long as you just... at least my personal thought process is just do it for the ones that are legit and sure. I never go for anything sketchy, as I never do. I always kind of compare it to the Bitcoin airdrops from a couple of years ago, like my Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Gold and whatnot. I only claimed Bitcoin Cash whenever it got to my Exodus or something like that. I didn't claim Bitcoin Cash through websites because you have to put in your private key, and I'm always careful with that. And for most airdrops, it basically works in some manner like that, where you have to kind of trust the airdrop provider. So I only go for the legitimate ones, but as long as the one is good, like a Solo here, the Elysian, those are so trusted by the XP community. I don't know, guys. I feel good about those. But I cannot say anything about the sketches of providers. I need to do more research. I will. But I'll leave a little small update in the comment section if I do have anything, as I do not notice after making the guide for it that I'm not exactly sure how to go about this for any other airdrop. I just have the trust in the Solo and the team and everything like that. So here's the tutorial. All the extraditional information about what the risks are and whatnot, I'll look into, and I'll actually get that to you guys in the comment section, as I'm going to do a little bit more research today. All right, I'm going to do a little bit more research, and I want to just post this video because otherwise I'm going to redo it and redo it and redo it and redo it for another couple of hours, but I think this is just good, except for the risks part. I'm going to look it up more.